Dzień dobry Państwu, Artur Siekaczyński, zapraszam na program Dzień Wschodzi. A dzisiaj mamy gościa wyjątkowego, Mojca Mawec, czyli słoweńska dziennikarka Narodowej Telewizji, która w naszym mieście przygotowuje swój program Podróżnicy. Hi, hello, how are you?
Dzień dobry. I'm super happy to be here and thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, so tell us something about your program, because I told our viewers that you are here just to prepare it.
Yes, so it's a travel show with a long tradition. I've been doing this for more than 20 years now, and it's for the national television in Slovenia, and it's nice because I have a lot of followers following my footsteps. I always get some greetings from the world, from Slovenian people who were following the footsteps, the stories of this program. And it's nice because it's 50 minutes, it's almost 1 hour, which is quite long for a travel show. And it enables me to go deeper into a place, into the society, into the culture, history, but most of all, people. And I love people, and I love the stories about people. And it's my 5th program actually about Poland, a country I feel very well always whenever I'm here. It started actually very early in my childhood with Bolek and Lolek, the cartoons. So koniec, that was my first Polish word. And I think that Polish people are the Italian of the East. You're very relaxed, you're very open. It's very easy to work here, you know. You can stop people in the street and everybody's talking to you. So it's a really nice country to work with. And I started with Warsaw, and then I did a program about Gdansk, so different regions. And now it's my first time over here.
And how do you like Lublin
so
far?
It's like, you know, I've never been that east in Poland, and it's so peaceful and quiet. You can't tell that Ukraine is just 100 kilometers away, you know. It's such a beautiful and quiet place. So, and I like the vibe. It's a very open city, and it's very inclusive. You know, I understand it has always been a crossroads of different cultures, but so have other cities. But over here, you really live that diversity. You know, you wear it as a badge, and you show it.
Very cultural place.
Yes, so it's really very, very interesting, and that was my first perspective, how different communities live in the city. So basically, my first stop was Baobab, which was a very important, of course, center for all the people coming from Ukraine 3 years ago, but now it's like a community center where lots of people coming for the first time to the city meet. And they are very active, and I'm really very, very surprised to see how quick you integrate a lot of people into everyday life, and it's really wonderful to see.
I think actually your experience is a little bit different, because Poles actually, Poles think about Poles is that we are not very friendly, especially to each other.
Oh, believe me, you are. I've been a lot. I've been, you know, to several places in Eastern Europe, and you really are. And you switch over immediately. It's not Mrs. and Mr. You're Marek, you're Przemek. You know, you're much. You really, for me, it's always a pleasure to travel in your country, even though, of course, I come from Slovenia, and there are a lot of stereotypes as well of nations all around the world, as well of Eastern Europe or Western Europe. You know, in my show, it's called Čez planke. It means like over the fence, so that we look over the fence to our neighbors and further, but that we fight stereotypes and some prejudice maybe we might have about other people in the world, or religion, or differences that we have, you know. And for me, it's always a very important message that you can find people that look like you, that feel like you, that are very much alike everywhere in the world, whichever culture you take, you know. And that's why, for me, it's very important to go deeper always in a place.
You said it's about people,
Yeah.
so I will ask about people.
Yes.
And what do you think is the main difference between Poles and Slovenians?
You're a big country, you know, and you have, well, the history wasn't always kind to Polish people, right? And you're much more diverse as society. You have the Jewish element, which is very important and which has really shaped Polish culture as well. So lots of recipes, cebulek, right? Cebulek, is it the
Cebulasz.
Cebulasz, yes, is one of the dishes I'm going to try tomorrow. So in a bakery, and of course the music, klezmer, and so on. We didn't have this Jewish element so strongly marked in our history, because the Jewish people were expelled in the 16th century already from Ljubljana, for instance, from the capital in Slovenia, and so on.
Yeah, and
So-
they often came to Lublin or to Poland.
Yeah, and then on the other hand, of course, you were behind. Your history was different. You were under more Soviet influence. I was born in Yugoslavia, which was a totally different country. So we could travel. It was more open in a way, and of course, this reflects the society. But we have a lot of things in common. We have this diversity. You have the sea, we have the sea. We have high mountains. You have Zakopane. You love ski jumping. We love ski jumping. I'm as well surprised how many cycling paths you have as well here in the eastern part. How people really love bicycle, and cycling around. So this was one of the impressions that really surprised me, coming from a country with Pogacar and all the champions, in cycling. So people are as well very active, That's very good to see. So yes, my focus is Lublin, but as well the countryside around Lublin. So I've been to Kozlovka, for instance. I'm visiting an agritourism as well. I would like to meet some farmers. I went to the Zamoyski Palace. So like really different perspectives.
What are the main experiences you hope to highlight in your show?
Well, actually, I'm here because of the European City of Culture in 2029, because I come from a country which holds now the capital of culture, Nova Gorica in Slovenia. And it's interesting to follow a little bit the background, how you start, how you apply, and what's going to be the main focus. And I think it's wonderful that you include this crossroads and this diversity. You have these different cultural influences into the City of Culture, and especially that you include lots of young people, because it's a university city with lots of students, and they have a say of creating the City of Culture, and I think this is amazing. And of course, I mean, me coming from a small region that was always surrounded by bigger nations and ruled by others, from a small country now, from this perspective, and having Nova Gorica as the capital of culture, I can feel, I can very much rely to how it feels living on the border, being a border region, which I think these are very special conditions we live in, right? Being a border city or being in a border region, it's totally different, like living in the heart of the country.
Yeah,
So
it's actually people are different.
People are
here
different,
and
you can really, you're the first ones feeling the changes in the world. If there's a conflict, you feel it in the border, right? And you did several times in your history.
Yeah, actually, even
So,
now,
yeah.
here in our voivodeship, we feel it, because it's 100 kilometers to the border where the Russians fight Ukrainians. So it's it's really special placement in the world.
You're here. I mean, it's not news in television, it's here, so you see immediately the consequences. And I think it's good to include all these perspectives in the City of Culture.
Actually,
concept.
the main, I don't know how to say it, I forgot the word, but the...
Say it in
of course,
Polish.
hasło, like main motto or
Yeah,
something
okay,
from
yeah.
for the
Hasła.
European state of City of Culture. Yes.
Yes.
It's reunion, so that means
Exactly,
that means
The motto, the motto.
the motto. So that means the cultures are here, they meet here, and they are here again together. So you
Yes,
think
and
it's very important
It's
to
important,
be.
exactly. And it's not fake because you live it every day and you see it, you know. It's not something you have to reinvent for the capital of culture. And this is a very good thing.
So I actually wanted to ask you one more question about the program, but yeah, because I've been told that you are looking for Slovenian accents in the cities or in people, in culture. So do you know how many Slovenians live here in Poland, and
Well,
did you meet them?
No, not yet. So we have some sportsmen as well in football. I met Přimek, who is working for Kisarna. I don't know how they say it in Polish. So for a vinegar factory and mustard factory owned by a Slovenian. And on my hotel on the facade, there is the Slovenian flag, not because the Slovenian president is sleeping there, or a famous football player, but me. And it's nice because the hotel is owned by the Honorary Consul of Slovenia. So, you know, wherever I go, there is something as well a little bit connected to my country, or at least this is very important for me as an author from Slovenia, working for a Slovenian audience, that I try to, you know, find similarities. I try to compare things to our country or tradition. I think this is important because even in our national television we buy a lot of American or foreign production, even travel shows. And I think sometimes it's annoying if there's always an American explaining the world to you, because as a European, coming from the heart of Europe, surrounded by so many cultures, I might be more sensitive to history and other cultures and traditions. So why there should be always a foreigner explaining about the world? So I think it's a privilege to have a local author, you know, because as a Slovenian, I'm looking for things that we have in common, Slovenians and Polish. I think this is very important because, like I said, you find similarities, you find connections everywhere. And there are lots of students as well from Slovenia, well, some from here in Lublin, but now slowly, so they go on vacation together with all the Polish to Croatia, to the seaside. So the aim is as well in the future, because I'm a freelance journalist and I do a lot of things in my life. I work as a guide as well from time to time as a tourist guide, and I'm taking Slovenian people all around the world. And my goal is as well to bring more Slovenian tourists to Poland.
We would like to see that, and actually I think many Poles are going to Slovenia on their vacations. And
more
in
and
summer.
more. At least, okay, they used to cross Slovenia on the way to Croatia, to the seaside. But now, yes, because Slovenia it's like Poland. Nature is just around the corner. We have a lot of forest, we have like the Alps and the sea. Of course, you have this diversity as well, but sometimes you need to drive for hours to come to the Baltic, you know? In Slovenia, everything is basically walking distance, you know? It's a small area, and this is
It's very compact.
It's very compact. It's a special place.
We are talking about similarities, but I want to ask: are we that different, or you maybe feel here in Poland like a little bit like at home?
I always do feel at home, you know, because it's the hospitality, and this is something that we have in common. You know, wherever you go in Poland, they offer you a glass of water. I have water because I came directly from the street. It's a very hot day today in Lublin. So, you know, it's the same reaction in Slovenia. So this hospitality is really something that we have in common. And it's beautiful because Poland is still very authentic. You know, you don't have this massive tourism, and wherever you go, if you go to a farm, if you go I met a winemaker, so you always meet the farmer himself. You always meet, you know, the person in charge. It's not the marketing department or some professionals working in tourism. It's like the people who live this kind of stories, you know, and this is, I think, a great opportunity for tourism as well, to keep it as authentic as you can, you know. And I think Lublin has a lot of potential. It's a very ambitious team working in tourism as well, with a lot of wonderful ideas. So I see it's a very active city, lots of culture going on. Now in July you have one of your biggest events, right?
Yeah, it's
in
actually
the streets of Lublin. So
the whole summer is under the sign of these kinds of events.
And still, it's not like a huge city, so everything is doable. It's one phone call away. You know, people are much more connected. So it's something that I can rely to, coming from Ljubljana, which has like 400,000 inhabitants, and it's really very
in Lublin we have
kind and
like
local.
320,000.
So
or
we're
something.
there.
Yeah. So it's my probably last two questions, but I wanted to know if you well, how to say it? Did you find anything challenging when you came here? So maybe you didn't understand something, or something works very, very different than in Slovenia?
Oh yes, not very different, but I noticed people in Poland are really much more religious than Slovenian people. So going to church, having your prayers, and the time for you for your religion and belief is very important, several times a day. So sometimes it's when you film in churches, you really get that look, you shouldn't do that now, and, you know, it's like,
it's always because it's
it's
like
always very delicate.
Yeah.
In Slovenia, it's maybe more relaxed in a way. But on the other hand, I mean,
it's part of the culture.
you had an amazing pope who was so popular in Slovenia as well. He had his most legendary sentences, you know, in history of Slovenia, and he said, "Papež má vás rád." So "Papež má vás rád," the Pope loves you, and then, standing ovation. So it's one of the visits from abroad that Slovenian people will never forget. You know, we might maybe be different in some things, but we still feel a lot of things the same. So it's always a pleasure to come back to your country.
We are now talking about Lublin and Poland, but actually I feel like our viewers would like to go to Slovenia now. So what
I hope.
What should we see? What should we see there?
Oh, you know, Slovenia is very nice if you don't have if you don't have a lot of time, if you need like a short family trip. Slovenia is doable in 5-6 days to get the main idea, because it's like 4 different geographies coming together. So the Alps, the Adriatic Sea, then we have the Karst region and the Pannonian Plain. So it's really unique on such a small area to have this. It's like mini Europe in one small country. But you can do the longer version. You can take 2 weeks off if you like trekking, if you like cycling, if you like wild water, wild river kayaking. So it's a country if you are very active, if you are very sportive, if you like some action. It's not just lying on the beach, you know, in Croatia and having your cafe latte, but you know, Slovenia is more like challenging sometimes. But you can do totally chill out, you know, as well, chillax on the beach. To cool down in the mountains, we really have Alps.
So everybody will find something for
Definitely.
themselves.
It's a wonderful region as well. And even you can prolong your stay and go to Venice, you go to Vienna. Everything is on the way. It's not far, you know. It's really very central in Europe.
So I hope you will see some of our viewers soon in Slovenia.
Yeah.
But when and where will be the program broadcasted?
Oh, this will be ready for September. So summer is my main season. I really work a lot, and when I come home, I will start editing, and then in September I can send you a link and you can see.
Yeah, of course, we would like to see that, and we are waiting. So thank you.
It was a pleasure. So this is koniec?
Yes, this is koniec. So I will now switch again to Polish and finish
Pleasure
our
talking to you.
program.
Thank you for the invitation.
Także jak Państwo widzą, wiele można zobaczyć zarówno w Polsce, zarówno też i w Słowenii. Naszym gościem była Mojca Mawec, czyli słoweńska dziennikarka Telewizji Narodowej. Dziękuję Państwu za uwagę. Thank you again.
Dzięki.